Hailing frequencies open, and welcome to Star Trek Discoverage, the live podcast that boldly goes into excruciating detail about this week's episode of Star Trek Prodigy. I'm your host, Aaron Coker, aka Caliban, and coffee is the finest organic suspension ever devised, and I just spilled a bunch of it on myself. Joining me on the show, as usual, is my co-host. She's also the co-host of the Generations Geek podcast, a more or less family-friendly celebration of geekdom. It's Ella Pearson. Ella, welcome back to Discoverage.
Thank you.
Thank God my carpet is brown.
Oh no.
I got really excited.
Hot or cold coffee?
Lukewarm.
Lukewarm. Okay, so pretty, yeah.
Maybe the best case. Yeah, maybe the best
I was
case
gonna
scenario
say.
there. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, we are here to talk about the mid-season finale.
We made it.
Of Discovery, sorry, that's later, Prodigy. But first, let's talk about the news in the world of Star Trek. And as you know, as we've talked about before, there are more Star Trek shows on the way. Speaking at the TCA Winter Press Tour last Tuesday, the president of Original Scripted Series at Paramount Plus, Nicole Clemens, said in answer to a question that, quote, yes, we are still in development on Section 31, so there'll be more news on that soon. And she also said, quote, you may see a few more very curated additions coming.
So what do you think their goal number of Star Trek shows is?
So what we got 5 right now, right? They said that 5 is not the limit. And specifically in response to that idea, Alex Kurtzman said, quote, we have to think several years out. So we're thinking about knowing that we're going to want new shows on the air 2 or 3 years from now. We have to start putting those now. So there's a bunch of things in development that are now starting to take shape, and we're excited about it. And he also said more or less that they are working on Section 31 and another show that he is so far not given us any details about. So we don't know as far as that new show. We can't be sure. It might be the Starfleet Academy show that is in the works. And of course, we've talked about this for years now, since 2018, when Stephanie Savage and Josh Schwartz of Gossip Girl and Runaways fame were developing it. But now, apparently, we've got more information. Absentia co-creator Gaia Violo is working on a version of the project and will be pitching it to Paramount Plus shortly. And if it goes, it should be in production by next year is the scuttlebutt on that. So we're going to add at least 2 more shows. Then there's this, the impression I get of Alex Kurtzman is that he's a forthcoming guy who has to be somewhat circumspect because of the kind of mystery that you want to create around these. But I'm never sure if he's talking about if he's being like purposefully obscure or if it just comes off that way. Because he mentions another show, and I'm like, yeah, you were working on Section 31 and the Academy show. Are you talking about something else now? Is there some other thing? And then the other executive talking about the curated editions, it makes me think like they're just the faucet's fully open at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they must have like almost an MCU level, like master plan, right?
Yeah.
Where they're like, they know what shows are going to stop when, they know what shows are going to launch when, they're hearing the proposals, they're taking notes, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, a big dream board of all the projects and things that they want to do. Yeah. So we'll see how that develops. Nothing is real until, we're actually watching it. But I do think that after this long time, we are getting closer and closer and more firmer towards the Section 31 show, which is good news. The Academy show, from what they said, that is, that's something that has to be pitched and sort of accepted and green lit. So I don't think that that's 100%, but they have said nice things about it. So, we'll see. If there was going to be something that, is sort of in the works, there's a mystery, what would you posit that it might be if there is another show?
If it wasn't Starfleet Academy?
Yeah.
Maybe it would be the show like something not Starfleet centric. Do you think they would do like a Klingon show?
I'm surprised that they haven't, because it's interesting. Like, the Klingons are so, the first season of Discovery was kind of a a shot at kind of a Klingon show. A lot of Klingon activity, and they're so iconic, and they've lasted so long, and they have such a wide fan base. I'm surprised that nobody's pitched something like this, or maybe they haven't. It's just never made it out to the public. Yeah, but I think a Klingon show would be a good idea.
It also would be cause for like to keep it very, very secret until they could drop like a trailer or something, don't you think? Or I mean, probably maybe they'd tell us ahead of time, but it would explain like some high level mystery.
Just something kind of percolating in the background, and then we get
because they'd want us to be surprised.
Yeah. At this point, I'm trying to think, like, the biggest surprise that we've gotten was Prodigy was kind of a surprise. I think people wanted the Strange New Worlds, but then when they dropped that they were actually doing it, that was a surprise. As far as the Section 31 and the Starfleet Academy shows, those aren't surprises at all. Those are long labors of love in the making. So yeah, as far as them dropping something on us, that could be a strong idea. Do you think a Vulcan show would work?
Me personally, yes. And I wish they would do it. But a Vulcan show, I mean, how would you, listen, I love Vulcans. Like, I think they're my favorite Star Trek alien. They're the best. But like, if you were going to set the show, like, and have a cast that's majority Vulcan, like, how would it play? I don't know.
I think it could be done, and the example that I would present would be, and I forgot the character's name, but on the recent Lower Decks episode where they had the 3 ships, and we met the one Vulcan that was kind of like she's not your average Vulcan. You could have a character like that. You could bring people have said, hey, what's Jolene Blaylock up to? Would she be interested in coming back? And so you could have a character that we can sort of hang it on, a character that we are familiar with, and then have some Vulcans that aren't necessary. You could get a Cybok type character, kind of a wild Vulcan. And then a couple, just like any Star Trek show, you get a couple different other races. I think it could be a thing. Yeah. Vulcan Expeditionary Force.
I would love to see it, frankly.
Vulcans remind me of elves, which reminds me of the Rings of Power.
Yes.
Did you see the Rings of Power teaser images on Twitter?
Yes.
I thought you might have seen those. I was reading an article and it was showing them, and I was like, okay, and some hands, interesting. And then I just kept scrolling and kept scrolling.
There were so
many. Of them. Yes.
I'm going to say something. I'm going to put myself on blast here. When I started to get the notifications, I was like, I was having my morning. I was peeing, and the notifications came in, and I just sat in my bathroom this morning on the toilet until they stopped tweeting, because I like would not move. Because the tweet would come in, and I'd be like looking at the picture and being like, what does this mean? And then while I was still looking at that picture, another tweet would come in. So I was, not to put myself on blast, but I was looking for like a Taylor Swift level like conspiracy within the images. I was like, okay, this person, exactly. I'm like, okay, they have 3 rings on. What does that mean? This person's holding 3 acorns. What does that mean?
Right,
the other one's got 2 blackberries.
It all spells out something. Yeah.
I know. I was trying to big brain it. I didn't really. But now that we're talking about it, I have my hopes up. If I'm being honest, I didn't like. They do also have like a teaser trailer that I was very unimpressed by, but I'm still very excited. I have high hopes.
Yeah, me too. And I'm looking forward to the endless IO9 or whatever articles about who all these people are. Who the men of Numenor are, and Kieran the Shipwright, and all this other stuff. But looking forward to Al Farazan. All those guys. Amon, the Undying Lands. Yeah.
I was gonna say, Kieran, it's a deep cut.
Maybe I should write some of those articles. I gotta get in touch with Al now. But anyway, yeah, so that's exciting. Back to Trek really fast. Also at this panel or series of panels on Tuesday, co-showrunner of the new Strange New Worlds show, Akiva Goldsman, was asked about the character of Lan Noonien Singh, played by actress Christina Chong, and if that character was connected to Khan Noonien Singh. And he did not say Dodoy, because that would be indelicate, but he did say She's related to Khan for sure, and the deal will unfold, he said very eloquently. He continued, that's what he said. He continued to say, quote, "We don't want to bring folks into the show to be splashy. We want to dig deeply into characters that are part of our ensemble, and then obviously we're open. But right now, what you see is what you get." So that is a man tap dancing on a landmine, but staying alive.
I was going to say, interesting.
Still staying alive.
Yeah, good job. I mean, I think, yeah. I mean, obviously, I don't know what's going to happen, but it sounds like he did a good job. I don't think I would ever be as eloquent as they have to be dancing around these things.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, I'm sure he was frustrated. I mean, you have to sort of sell the show to people, but when they released all the character names and then the secret's out right there, and it's like, oh, so many people are going to ask me about this.
It's like, now I'm going to have to pretend like I don't know what's going on. It's going to be Spider-Verse
yeah,
it's going to be Spider-Man all over again.
Yeah. Well, that's a summary of Trek news. Let's get to it. We've just seen the 10th episode of the first season of Star Trek Prodigy, the mid-season finale called A Moral Star Part 2. We're here to talk all about it, but first, as always, a warning. We are setting a course for the spoiler zone, listeners, so be warned. We're glad you've decided to join us, but if you haven't seen the episode, spoilers are incoming. The official synopsis for A Moral Star Part 2 is: when the plan goes awry, the crew must improvise. Meanwhile, Gwyn discovers a dark truth that will forever jeopardize their quest towards salvation. The episode was, like last week, written by Kevin and Dan Hageman, Julie Benson, Shauna Benson, Lisa Schultz-Boyd, Nikhil S. Jairam, Deandra Pendleton-Thompson, Chad Quant, and Aaron J. Waltke. The episode was directed, again, by Ben Hibon. And we finally got an accurate stardate for this universe in this episode. It is 61103.1. And I was reading an article that said that the producers of the show, Dan and Kevin Hageman, said that one of the writers for the Time Amok, when they had that like messed up star date that was like, 7 digits or whatever, he actually put that in there, and he put a graph showing, now see, they've gone through the time loop this many times and stuff like that. So the number would be that. And they're like, Dave Mack, Dr. Aaron, okay, it checks out. We're going to put it in. But they finally got to put a accurate star date for this episode. Here's a couple facts about this episode. This is the first appearance of Admiral Catherine Janeway since her appearance in Star Trek Nemesis. We also see the USS Dauntless for the first time. And of course, we see Trill and Dorian and Tellarite Starfleet officers. A long-running fan theory that I don't think we actually talked about all that much on the show has been confirmed, that the diviner has been sent back in time. He is from a future time. We also see destruction and the effects of a civil war on his planet Solum. And that scenario is very... and the effects of a first contact are very similar to what we see in the Voyager episode Friendship 1, where a 21st century Earth probe does a number on a non-contacted species. This is also the first appearance as Jamila Jamil, as Asenia, the Trill officer that we see on the Dauntless. And I don't believe we've heard the Cat Girl say any words, have we? So
no.
The Cat Girl actress is Rania Sharkawi. We hear her for the first time. And that's it for our facts. Let's get into it. What do you think about A Moral Star Part 2?
I liked it. I thought it was a good... Is this our mid-season finale?
Yeah, we are going back to Discovery after this week.
Our second mid-season finale? I thought it was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it didn't waste any time either. Like, I watched it on Paramount Plus, and I expected Kate Mulgrew voice previously on Prodigy, but they just, bam, we're just right in, picking up right where we left off, and that's probably for the best.
I was surprised. I was like eating my dinner, and I was like, and it was like, like spoon halfway to my mouth, and I was like, oh, wait, we're going right in. We're ready right away.
Yeah. It was there was a lot of setup last week, and of course all the payoff this week, and so I felt like it was kind of the mega happy ending in that we got to save all the people. Obviously, we saved the Cat Girl, who knows if she'll show up in the future or get a name. But it was great that they were able to save everybody and recover the ship. But of course, it's a little bittersweet, and I thought they did a good job of planting sort of a threat for the future with this knowledge that Gwyn has about this danger lurking in the protostar that she's now unable to deliver. I thought that was kind of neat. And then also, you've got to give it the twist. And so we find out that there is another ship out there looking for the protostar, and it is Admiral Janeway on board.
Mm-hmm. Do you think she knows, or do you think she thinks that Chakotay is still on board the protostar?
I think so. Yeah, she's looking for him. So
yeah,
it's it's rough. I mean, if you're, it's absolutely Janeway. But if you're Janeway, and you finally make it back to the Delta Quadrant after how long, and they're like, or to the Alpha Quadrant, they're like, got a problem. Figure you're the expert. We're sending you back to the Delta Quadrant. Oh, fantastic!
Would you maybe head back out there for me?
Yeah. It's interesting, too, that this ship is called the Dauntless. We saw a ship called the Dauntless before in an episode of the Ray Wise episode of Voyager, whose name I can't remember now, but Ray Wise plays this alien who tells them that he has this Starfleet model ship called the Dauntless, and it's got a quantum slipstream drive, and he's get them all home real fast. And then it turns out that he just wanted revenge on them because the Borg assimilated his people, and he blamed Janeway and her deal with the Borg Queen for that happening, and so it turned out to be kind of a trick and a fluke. But to use that, I mean, it's a cool name, but to use that name again, I wonder if that is a specific call out, and if this ship bears some kind of advanced propulsion, similar to quantum slipstream or something that like the protostar has.
Yeah, I mean, how many different? Because like at this point it's like Starfleet has to have a division that's like make me some freaky engines, right?
Yeah
So
yeah,
I don't know.
And if anything, somebody has done the math before me, but the sort of, at this point in the in TOS or TNG or whatever, they've explored something % of the galaxy, and it's either a single digit number or it's like a very low double digit number. And that being said, so there's plenty more probably to see in the Alpha Quadrant, but if we want to get back into the idea of the strange new worlds, maybe this is it. Maybe we need to push out here in the nearing 25th century to explore deeper into the Beta Quadrant, explore the Delta and the Gamma Quadrant. Maybe Star Trek ships should be everywhere. And so you've got
you gotta...
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's like how many planets within the feasible range of a regular warp drive are inhabited, and then among those planets, how many of them have reached, what is it? They have to develop a warp drive themselves before first contact. So like how many civilizations have reached?
How many Alpha Quadrant planets are like, we keep checking in.
Literally.
Like, these guys gonna figure it out. Come on.
So like you gotta push out sometime
on their planet. Speed this up. Yeah. And it's I think it's fascinating that I had not been tracking this idea of a time travel plot, but I know that it was out there in fandom. That it's another kind of plot where the idea where like discovery is dangerous, exploration can be dangerous, and reaffirming the idea that the prime directive is important, and even when you want to help somebody, it doesn't always go right. Now, we don't know, the diviner characterizes it as being a negative thing. We don't know what really happened, but it's clear that this planet was heavily affected by their contact with outside species, which is, that's a kind of thorny issue that gets brought up a lot less in Star Trek than you'd imagine. Usually I think it's Captain Kirk's helping people, but sometimes it's not helpful, and so it'll be interesting to dig into that. It's much deeper than you'd expect a Nickelodeon show to go.
Yeah, I mean, think about what would happen if aliens made contact with Earth, now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, lose their minds. I mean, maybe that's why there's the warp speed rule, because then at that point as civilization they're expecting maybe to meet some aliens, but still.
Right. Yeah. And or imagine, I mean, like the Klingons have kind of settled down now, but imagine in the TOS era, if the Klingons are your first contact, and it's like, hi, we control you now. So yeah,
culture shock.
Yeah, so that is, these 10 episodes have been great. It's been great meeting the crew and seeing their adventures, but this is a great hook for the second half of this season. I really want to see where they go with this and how they develop this story.
Yeah, well, and you said like, maybe it's a bit deep for a Nickelodeon show, and maybe it is, but also I feel like this episode was pretty intense. I was watching that scene where Zero like exits the metal orb or whatever. I was like,
Right.
if I was a kid, I would be like losing it right now. This would be this like spooky, high key.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's the Indiana Jones, don't look at it, Gwen, shut your eyes.
Yeah.
But she catches just a peek of it and just gets vapor locked. But yeah, it's a hardcore thing. I keep trying to remember what happened to Larry on Is There in Truth No Beauty. He just kind of went nuts and tried to blow up the ship, I think. But but yeah, the Diviner doesn't seem like he's doing so great. I wonder if he'll probably come back, but I wonder if we will meet a younger version of the Diviner, either the current one in our timeline or another like time traveling version of him.
That'd be crazy. Do you think they have the current Diviner? You think he's just like in like an iron lung below decks?
Just like height, just like
they
somewhere.
Just still have him on the Protostar. He's just like so they're like keeping him alive.
Yeah, I have no idea how their time travel works, but it's certainly. I wonder then if his little suit and his thing that he needs to kind of stay upright is an effect of the time travel. Something that was happened to him. I also like the fact. I think we called it before, but yeah, Janeway was faking holographic Janeway. And that was pretty cool. And then who knew that you can disable the security protocol and then hologram can go ham on you and rip all your tubes out.
That was crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of an ethical nightmare. And of course, this takes place 2 years before the synths go crazy on Mars and kill everybody. So maybe at this point they're like, hey, if the hologram's got to kill somebody, he's got to kill somebody. Go for it.
Oh my God, it's like it's a nightmare. I mean, can you imagine if a hologram starts attacking you? How do you start swinging and they just go like, your arm just swings through them, but then they rip out your tubes. That was crazy.
Yeah, she's going safeties
I
off.
do miss the black lipstick and the eyeliner though.
Yeah, well, we could keep that on file just for,
I do like how, she was in there the whole time, but she was like, I have to look evil. I have to look the part, so they think I've changed. And she was like, hit him with the emo, the vampire makeup.
You need a sense of once it's just her and Gwen and him, like the game's up, right? You can do whatever you want. But you gotta keep the sense of drama. You have to keep that alive. This is the right time to reveal myself. I loved it.
Oh man.
I liked the fact that our heroes are plucky and they're getting the job done, and Rock Talk is fixing the power core thing, but it's really the miners that they liberated and saved that ultimately helped them overcome Dreadnought. And a little gnarly there, like the cute little kitty's got claws.
Yeah. This episode. I mean, we had some fight scenes.
Yeah, I didn't expect a robot beheading in that moment of triumph, but that's what we got.
No. I'm on board.
Yeah, that's all right. We have a voice. And
revolution. Sometimes, Sometimes revolution is televised.
Yeah, right. Sometimes you get revolved. Yeah.
Oh my God.
What else? I know that I sort of criticized the animation last week, and I don't know, maybe I just wasn't feeling good, but the animation this week was really great. And I'll have to go back and watch last week's episode and chastise myself. But I did want to give special props to the look this week. I thought it looked really great.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. I've been very impressed by them. I feel like I've also said before that this style of animation isn't like my personal favorite, but I still have been impressed with what they've done every week. Has been crazy and gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah, especially, like you said, like the fight scenes and a lot of the action that was going on was really good. And, I don't need my Trek to have like intense fight scenes. It's usually like middle-aged
Mm-mm.
actors rolling around to the ground. But if you can do it with animation and what you've got, yeah, it was pretty cool. I wonder if I liked when the diviner was like, "Oh no, your little thing is a gift, so now I'm taking the gift back." So I wonder if she's lost that now, or she'll get her cool little sword again.
I think she should. Yeah, I hope she takes it back. I wonder if she's not. I wonder if she's feeling a little like she's still a little dizzy,
Yeah,
not quite ready to take up the sword play again, the control of
yeah, yeah. It's I don't know. I mean, I guess it's tough, when you try to think about like sexual politics and the kind of like representation of characters and trying to give everybody equal play. And it's a little dismaying to see, a character who is probably like the smartest, toughest character on board get nerfed a little bit when she
Yeah.
runs into this thing. And if you look at it, I mean, I try to look at it just detached from sexual politics, but it's like, why is it that character? Speaking of which, let's talk about Dahl for a second. And Dahl was acting particularly heroic, getting the job done this week. I thought that was cool. And the part where they're chasing the protostar in the other ship, in the bad guy ship, and they're trying to figure out what to do. And he's like, "Look, here's what I'm going to do. Just beam me over there, and I'll figure it out." And I was thinking, okay, that's a kind of Kirky sort of captain-y thing to do. But the reason I think on shows like TOS or even on Discovery, where the captain is going off and doing something, it leads into like my theory of the utility, the disposableness of the captain.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, the captain is important because they command everybody and so on and so forth. But if you're specializing in leadership, you don't want to send the doctor. They've got to patch people up. You don't want to send the engineer. What if the warp core goes critical? You don't want to send. You want to send somebody who is sort of intrepid and is going to take these risks. If somebody's going to die, it should be this person who's like, all right, screw it. I'm going to go over there and see what happens. And so Dahl is sort of filling like that kind of captain role in this case.
Yeah. I mean the going down with the ship mentality almost.
Yeah, like nobody's disposable, but since everyone else has a job, and my job is simply to organize people and make decisions, when the decision comes to like we have to send somebody, it's like, all right, well, I'm going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like I'm sure that Jean-Luc Picard would want to do that every week, but he's always got Riker there like, no, that's my job. I also don't do anything except sit here. So I'm tall and I'm going to go do that. Yeah.
I'm tall and I'm younger, and here I go.
Right. What else was happening this week? There was a little bit of the sort of 3-card money of transporters that they do sometimes where, we survived, but they took the thing. And I was wondering, like, I guess you can you beam a star? It's one thing to beam like a person. They have X amount of energy, and then you just transmit that energy. But like, if the protostar is like, like literally a young star that they're powering the ship with, can you transport that?
I mean, it's just taking yeah, it's just taking your atoms apart and putting them back together. In theory, I don't see why not.
I feel like it would be like downloading a big file, or transferring like a big
file.
So it's like we gotta
have plenty of RAM.
Everybody get some lunch and we'll come back later.
Let the computer work. Yeah. Make sure it can ventilate.
Do you think that, so we don't know exactly the nature of what it is, but there's something about the protostar that will be dangerous for Starfleet if they encounter Starfleet. So it's a virus, or it's just some kind of infection that they can
it's control.
Oh, it's control. Yeah, okay, that's what it is. Control once again.
I mean, I guess I was assuming it was just like a big nuke. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I mean, I don't know. I wonder if it's just like it just has really powerful weapons. So once it finds a Starfleet ship, it's just going to nuke it and then follow its, path. Follow the breadcrumbs back to or until it gets to Earth.
Yeah.
And then nuke Earth. I don't know. I was kind of confused.
Or because I
was like, take your word for it, I guess, right?
Yeah, yeah, you'll see. Um, yeah, like, or will it like give them control over Starfleet ships, or
Yeah.
what's the danger? But I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I was still kind of hoping that he was going to reveal that he had like infiltrated Starfleet.
He certainly, yeah, seems to have a history with Starfleet. What if he is a future like Starfleet cadet or officer? Like he's one of the first solenoids or solenites or whatever
Yeah,
to join Starfleet, and things go wrong.
he climbed the ranks until he made it to Section 31, and then he knew his time had come.
Oh, and then he could be responsible for it, but he won't accept that.
Exactly.
That gives me Kurtwood Smith vibes.
Ooh.
The Year of Hell from Voyager, where the guy he keeps going back in time trying to fix this one
Yeah.
thing, and of course Janeway gets involved.
Well, she has to. You gotta.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Do you think, I don't know how many weeks now we have to wait until the next episode, but do you think the next episode it's going to be like immediately we'll get this like Janeway content, or do you think they're going to make us wait?
I think we will. In fact, I think that we'll maybe see the launch of the Protostar. We'll see Chakotay or
Oh, like a
something.
flashback?
Yeah, we'll get an idea of what their mission really was. At least I hope so.
Do you think she knows that the about the Janeway hologram, or do you think she knew Chakotay on the Protostar and then they somehow got way out there and he was like, I'm gonna make I'm gonna make my friend as a hologram to help me.
That's interesting.
Like, what if she
Yeah.
gets there and she's like, hello?
Yeah,
It's just her.
it's a Leah Brahms
She's like,
situation. Who made this?
yeah. She's like, so this is a little weird.
I didn't give my permission for this. That would be interesting. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I just got a lot of
Hologram
questions.
Janeway could like copy her little gray streak.
Yeah, right. Oh, I like that. Yeah, zip,
It's
zip.
like, oh,
Yeah.
updated look.
Yeah, that's, I don't know. I mean, yeah, was she made with Janeway's consent, or yeah, is she just skinned to seem like Janeway? I don't know. She's very Janeway. I think it'd be difficult to get it as right as they did without her involvement, but that is interesting.
Chakotay knows her pretty well,
That's true. That's true.
especially depending on who you talk to.
And he's, yeah. I'm just, people have been speculating on whether they'll have a relationship or not. But like, what if he thinks they do and she thinks they don't? But he's got a virtual Janeway.
He said, I'll code you a holographic bathtub.
I just like that pecan pie. I think we've covered a lot. Any other specific things that you wanted to bring up or discuss?
I guess I was impressed by how Rock Talk came out just swinging. Like she went for the right hook immediately, went for the punch.
Yeah. Yeah,
that was funny.
They kind of play with this in the ending narration, but who is the titular character? Who is the prodigy here? They all are kind of prodigies in their own way, and Rock Talk is definitely fits the bill for that. I was thinking, like, I like Jankum Pog, and I guess I like that he talks about himself in the third person, but did he get mad or something? Other Tellarites don't talk about themselves in the third person. That's not like a cultural thing. I don't know why he does that.
I mean, they're all except for arguably Zero. They're all kids, right? So he just got dumped on to work in the mine.
Yeah.
In theory, maybe he's just like, maybe he was alone for a while in the mine, and he just came out a little weird, a little different.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we do see that with the two other miners that are like, "Oh my God, your name's Albert. Oh, finally we can talk." Yeah.
That was so funny.
So yeah, want to see Cat Girl in the future. Seems like she'd be a very dangerous ally to have.
Yeah.
I wonder if any of if the Unwanted will just go back to their lives, or if we'll see any of them again. If we'll, it seems like the diviner is the diviner of our rubber room at this point. So I wonder if he'll be involved again. But yeah, a lot of open questions for the future.
I just had a thought. What if when Janeway finds the Protostar, real Janeway, like what if the hologram is on screen, but then the nuke goes off? And so it's like, oh my God, there's like a Janeway copy and she just nuked my ship. That'd be wild.
Janeway versus Janeway. Yeah, we can have it.
She's like, there's a new Janeway out here and there's like a bunch of kids on the bridge.
Yeah, because Flesh and Blood Janeway is an expert at dealing with other Janeways, but maybe the hologram will show her a few tricks she doesn't know. Mm-hmm. She'll turn into evil Janeway.
Listen, call Mac, get the black liquid lipstick.
I don't think you have to. David, has there ever been a goth version of any of the characters in the books before?
I want it though. I just thought it was, I don't know if I thought it was funny or if I was just like, we're doing like it's like we're yassifying Janeway. I don't know what's going on, but I was enjoying myself.
In the mirror, so Vic Fontaine is a hologram in our universe, but he's real in the mirror universe. Maybe there's a character in the mirror universe that's a hologram in our universe. So you get the or like the hologram from the mirror universe comes to our universe, and so it's a hologram version of someone.
Don't you love Star Trek?
Yeah, yeah, I certainly do. And there's a lot to love.
Oh.
Well, I'm a little tired after that. That was a lot. But we will have time to cool down, of course, because the show is going on a little break after this. But it will be back. They haven't said exactly when, but sometime later in the year is the plan. And so hopefully they will be able to stick to that plan. But that is it for our show this week. Thanks for joining us, listeners. And if you like what you hear, you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter at EISTPOD for updates and to get notified when new episodes of both Enterprising Individuals and Discoverage are released. You can tweet to us on the show by using the hashtag Discoverage or email us at eistpod@gmail.com. And while you're on the internet, why not head to your listening platform of choice and subscribe to the show feed. Give us a rating and a review because it really helps us out. And if you want to help the show grow, stop by our Patreon page at patreon.com/EISTpod. And as always, if you like the show, tell a friend. Discoverage will return on February 10th for the 8th episode of Star Trek Discovery's 4th season. Of course, we don't have a title for it yet, but we'll be here next Thursday to cover it. We'll be going live once again at 8 p.m. Central, so join us then for the 16th week of Trek. You can follow us on Twitter or Facebook at EISTpod to get notified when we're live and broadcasting. And in the meantime, why not check out our main show, Enterprising Individuals, at enterprisingindividuals.com. Every Wednesday on the show, I and a special guest discuss in excruciating detail a selected episode from a Star Trek series, and we have news for the Trek sphere and interviews with special guests. And we have the first pre-show of Season 7 is out. We talk about some of the recent Trek news and what's coming up on the 7th season of the show. What is coming up on the 7th season is this year, on all 6 years past 6 seasons, we focused on episodes from the world of Star Trek. This year, we're tackling all of the movies. 13 episodes from number 1 to Star Trek Beyond. We are going through every Star Trek film on the show this year with many returning guests and great discussions about Star Trek films. So be looking for that in the future. You can access, in the meantime, all 6 previous seasons of our episodes at enterprisingindividuals.com or wherever you get our podcasts. Ella, thanks as always for joining me to talk about tonight's episode of Prodigy and remind people where they can find you online.
Thank you. I don't have anything new to announce this week, but we talked about Rings of Power. Right. So I guess I'll say that it must be going on 3 years ago now. I did an episode on my buddy's podcast called Keep on Tolkien, which is a Tolkien podcast, obviously, on the Rings of Power in in Middle Earth and Arda. So you can find that, on their website or wherever you listen to podcasts. Keep on Tolkien.
Spelled like it sounds. Keep on Tolkien.
Spelled like it sounds, exactly. And I also just retweeted it a few days ago. So I'm at Gondor Gold on Twitter.
Okay. And I wanted to say, and this is possibly still in the works, but we are looking to make the jump to video, taking the show from the audio format that you hear it in now and moving it to a streaming platform, probably Twitch. And so all things work out the way they're supposed to, we will probably be appearing on video next week to talk about Discovery and every week after that. So stay tuned. You can get the link to where our live stream, of course, at EIST Pod on Twitter. Also, you can follow Enterprising Individuals at twitch.tv/EISTPOD. So making the leap to video in the 21st century, finally. So we'll see how that works out. But until then, we are signing off. Thanks for listening, everybody. This is Aaron for Ella saying, live long and prosper.